Hello, everyone. For those that know me, I'm Christopher Dagger, MA student in the Department of Theological Studies, and I'd like to salute everyone and acknowledge Professor Sarah Thoreau for her very intriguing question that I'm about to answer. Why theology? So, Sarah Thoreau, I acknowledge you for this question, and let me answer. So, why theology? First off, I call it an elusive discipline. And to quote Professor Jean-Marc Barrault from the University of Montreal, whom I met with yesterday, theology is the most beautiful of sciences, according to him. Now, beauty remains a very subjective domain, fit for any spontaneous debate, but nonetheless, the professor makes a very interesting point. Theology, the discipline, the art, the science, theology is indeed beautiful. So beautiful, in fact, it has successfully withstood the test of time ever since the Middle Ages, an epoch where the great Thomas Aquinas coined it the Queen of Sciences. I don't want to be mistaken here, but I'm pretty sure it's Thomas Aquinas who coined it that way. What a beautiful and yet complex queen it is, indeed. As a matter of fact, some could argue this queen, just like a fine Canaanite wine, gaining more flavor with time, is so ancient that it can even be traced back to prehistoric times when the human had to reckon with their maker and endeavor him or herself to comprehend what he or she was dealing with from the beginning. God? Perhaps. But back to the perennial question, why theology? Now, I partially granted an answer to this exquisitely challenging question, and Lord knows I will never do it justice. Why theology? Theology's unicity can be understood as the common ground shared between the investigative nature of restless intellectual pursuits and the volatile but exciting aspect of its existential experience. As many rightfully hold it in brief and yet accurate terms, theology is, for all intents and purposes, as Augustine of Hippo would say, faith seeking understanding. Yeah. Here, this common ground doesn't have to be like the Valley of the Sons of Megiddo, aka the Valley of Armageddon, where a battlefield is supposed to take place. But that's my project, eschatology. I digress. It's not exactly a tug of war between the brain and the heart. Rather, it's an interesting blend of both, a mixture. Besides, just like the blood of Christ was meant to blot out the sins of the world, theology can't help but bleed into a multitude of different disciplines. Counting sociology, psychology, anthropology, literature, history, politics, ethics, and of course its cousins, religion and philosophy. In conclusion, theology unavoidably has something to offer for absolutely everybody. And if one opts not to acquaint themselves with, or even chase it, theology will in due time catch up to each and every one of us. And that, my friends and colleagues, that, that right there, that is theology, and that's why we study, eat, sleep, breathe, and live theology.